Okay, so we're done with board member reports. So do we have, so we have public participation for agenda items only. So it's an opportunity for the public to comment on agenda related items. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. Refrain from profanity. This on?
Is this on?
No.
Perfect. Yeah,
Hey guys, I have to interrupt you because
I didn't even get started yet.
no, I just, if this is about books, I see the titles of some of the books that I've been reading. And so I just wanted to make sure that we're on agenda items.
We are on agenda items. I haven't even started yet.
Okay,
My name is Cedra Crenshaw. I hope you reclaim my time.
The agenda items for the meeting, the board agenda items for the meeting. There's a second opportunity for public input.
I haven't even started yet. Please restart my time. My comments are in regards to the FOIA in the superintendent's report. And that FOIA reveals there are inappropriate, obscene, pornographic books in all of the Glenbard schools. Even though there are several policies against providing obscene and pornographic material to students. 7190, 7310, 7310 AP1, 825, 910. There could be others. And I'm requesting tonight that you discuss removing this obscene and pornographic material from the libraries. Now, I know you can see the images on this board in front of you, and that's why you didn't want me to say anything. Okay? The graphic novel, Gender Queer, shows drawings about a girl wanting to be a boy. From this book, quote, "We've moved on to sexting at work. I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It'll fit my favorite dildo perfectly. You're gonna look so hot. I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm gonna give you the blowjob of your life, and then I want you inside of me." This is in the libraries. One of the images in this graphic novel then shows a boy and a girl giving a blowjob. There's images of the character masturbating while imagining two men having sex. Another graphic shows the character with her sister having a discussion about tasting her vagina slime, and then shows an image of the main character doing just that. Another book in the Glenbard Library, All Boys Aren't Blue. Quote, "He reached his hand down and pulled out my dick. He quickly went to giving me head. I just sat back and enjoyed it, as I could tell he was too. He didn't know I was a virgin, and I did my best to act dominant like my favorite porn star." Another passage reads, "For the first few minutes, we dry humped and grinded. I was behind him with my stomach on his back as we kissed. He pulled out some condom and lube. I had never done it before. I had one point of reference though, and that was 7 years plus of watching pornography. Although the porn was heterosexual, it was enough of a reference point to get the job done." Now you tell me, what is your written justification for having filth like this in the libraries? Some of you up here claim to be Christians. One of you claims to be a pastor.
I don't claim to be.
God will not be mocked.
Can you turn the?
God- God will not be
I
mocked.
can hear you.
God will not be mocked. Repent. Get this filth out of the libraries. And if you're a pastor, if you're a Christian, do something about this. Get it out of the libraries. Shame on you.
I want to say something.
I know we can't.
No, shame on, this is my time to talk.
Okay.
Shame on you.
I just want to caution that if we're going to have more of the same, and if this is the same ask of the board, then we're going to have to limit public participation. So I just want to let you know that up front.
No, you can't do that.
I think that's pretty presumptuous, and that's just really not respecting the community that is here. to voice their concerns about the books that are in the libraries in all of our Glenbard schools. It is disgusting. It is not right. And we need to get these books removed. The librarians who put these in there that approved it, if the principals also approve these books, we need to talk about this. Parents need to be engaged. This is pornography. It's obscene and it's against the law. There's another book in there called This Book Is So Gay, which discusses the casual hookup site Grindr and includes detailed information on how to have anal and girl-on-girl sex. From the book, we all want to have sex with loads of people. The prostate gland feels amazing when massaged. Lots of men, gay or straight, like how this feels. Let's talk about dildos. I think a lot of people assume that where there is no penis, a desperate sexual void is created. The book continued. I've only ever slept with 2 women who enjoy these dildos. I hate wearing a strap-on. I've only done it once and never again. It also includes information on sex parties and orgies. Saunas or bathhouses are dotted all over the country and they are perfectly legal. Many saunas have lesbian nights. Pay some money to enter and then have a bit of a sauna and some random sex. Again, this is fine as long as you're safe. In the libraries here at Glenbard District 87. I agree with Christopher Rufo, who says, there are no book bans in America. Authors have a First Amendment right to publish whatever they want. But public libraries and schools are not obligated to subsidize them. Voters get to decide which texts and ultimately which values public institutions transmit to children. Remove them. Thank you.
It may be a fine for me to speak out. I'll just pay whatever fine it is, but I have to say something. Just because I sit on this board, I don't want you all to think that I agree with somebody having that kind of stuff in the library. And I don't want someone coming up here accusing me of being a person that agrees with that. So I just want to go on record with that, Mrs. Crenshaw.
And
I would suggest you resign on this. If you are sincere.
Say what?
No, we're not.
Reverend Shannon?
It's
Thank you.
not agenda.
Thank you.
Till later.
Okay, well, I don't like to be accused of things that I'm not a part of. I don't condone.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Monica Moro, and I am an ordained minister of non-denominational church. As such, there are people who claim their rights and they have all the right to do that. I'd like to broaden the topic to a little more general level without offending anybody, without addressing anybody in person. I just like to say that on the seal, it says veritas, which means in Latin, truth. You may or may not be aware that there are really weak boundaries that are set towards the students with inappropriate behavior. I just learned that there is a girl from the Muslim community who's being attacked and mocked and bullied at Glenbard East, and the school did not set any boundary. They know who is the offender and they did not do anything, literally anything to stop it. There were attempts, but there were no specific boundaries with no specific consequences. That's wrong. Another thing is that you may or may not be aware that there was a senior student at Glenbard East who died tragically the homecoming weekend, and it was related to drug or alcohol abuse. I was here towards the end of the previous school year asking that the school signs on each door, on each entry door, claiming their statement that there's prohibition of bullying, that there's prohibition of alcohol, drugs, tobacco products, and so on. It has not been done. And am I saying that it could stop the student from dying? Absolutely not. But it would set a clear message. It would send a clear message to the community and to the students so they would know that this is something what's not tolerated or accepted. Another thing is, when we are speaking the truth here, that at the beginning of the year 2022, approximately in February, there was a lawsuit against Dr. Larson in his official capacity that the board may or may not be aware of. I don't know if you are, but it was against segregation and discrimination that happened at the same school, Glenbard High School, against few students who had courage to stand up and claim their right to make a choice in wearing the mask. They were segregated, they were discriminated, they were deprived access to full scope education. That's wrong. That lawsuit, I know about it because I was the one who was plaintiff in this case, and I did it solely so the school respects the right to choose. I said that I will withdraw the case if the rights of the students are respected, and I did. Dr. Larson chose
Thank you.
to involve, let me finish, please. I'd like to use my First Amendment right. I know that I'm limited to 3 minutes, but I would like to finish this topic. Dr. Larson chose to get represented, and the attorney that is representing the district, Mr. Faulkner, promised that he will not charge for his representation because I told him from the beginning that the only purpose for this lawsuit is that Dr. Larson has grounds to drop the mask mandate and make it optional. I said that if they will stop discrimination and they will accept this, that I will withdraw the lawsuit. He knew it since the beginning. I have emails about it. Dr. Faulkner, the lawyer, charged the school district money for that, and it was paid. I can provide all the documentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm offended by that.
Wasi Khan.
Can we turn it around so they have? It's not gender related.
Hey, my name is Wasim Khan. I'm the president of Milano. My kids goes to Glenbard West. And I'm really concerned about the books. It was previously discussed, and I don't want to repeat whatever been said already because everybody knows. I just want to understand that without the permission, if it were permitted by any of you, I would like to know, and if it's not permitted, was not voted by you, I would like to know who voted yes or no about this book putting into the school libraries.
I'm sorry, we're not going to comment here.
Okay.
But certainly we'll take your question and you will get a response.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Mohammed Chan Parn.
Mohammed Chaudhary.
Thank you.
So, this Mohammed Chaudhary, I live in Glendale Heights. Two of my kids, they study at Glenbard West, and one already graduated from here. And honestly, I feel very ashamed, very, very ashamed that my only son has graduated from this school. The books, they are not even LGBT agenda. They are not gays and lesbian or any agenda. This is, I sent it to you, Mr. Superintendent, in the email. I will request you display it over the board. This is disgusting. No parent, even you will not like your son or daughter look at those images. Rather, you will have it in library and then they can download it and see it in their free time, in their bedroom or in library, where they are supposed to read the knowledge, the God-given knowledge, and the noble human-made knowledge, which we acquired in centuries. We did not acquire it for this, for the foreign, and sponsored and encouraged by the librarians. Okay, I think I took 1.5 minutes already. I would like you, I have the names of all of you. I'm going to send you all of those, the snapshots what I have from those books. I want you to read it. And I want the principals and especially the librarians who go through each and every page of a book. That's how it is. I want you to make sure they are fired. And if this thing was permitted with any of the consultation of you, including Mr. Superintendent, I want you to resign. First thing, and second thing is, to remedy this, I want the board to issue a public apology on this mishap. I suppose that this mishap, even you might be behind it, one of you or all of you might be behind it, but it is mishap. I want you to remedy it fully. I'll collect all of those books from all 4 libraries, maybe it's more than 4, maybe 8. Okay, how many libraries we have? Collect all of those books, and I want it publicly burned to give it a clear image that District 87 does not own this. Okay, and I want at least all the librarians be fired from their job, and all of the board members, if they do not resign, I will make sure, you see my face, I will make sure they do not get elected next election. And I will stop payment on my check, which I yesterday paid for this district disgusting DuPage County, which pays all of these where we are sitting. I will make sure that I cancel that. I will not pay my taxes, and I will start my campaign. This is my right, living in the United States of America, that you don't get the tax money. None of your projects, none of your salaries, none of your kitchens are going to run. God willing.
Stephanie Clark.
Oh, hi there. I'd like to thank the parents that spoke before me for speaking their thoughts. I appreciated them. Stephanie Clark, sorry, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I want to comment about school day planning, which is on the agenda later. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the workshop, but I did watch it and I had some comments after doing so. First, I would like to say that you did engage the community, but there is a lot of room for improvement. The principals held focus groups with only hand-selected parents. Those were helpful as there was discussion and questions answered, but only a select few could participate. Your teleconference for everyone else was merely a presentation. There was no open discussion, no opportunity to get questions answered. All anyone could do was type a comment in the chat. I hope between now and January, you improve upon this and let all community members be involved in a discussion, not just listening to a Zoom call. I also want to mention that Hadley students do have a block schedule, but they have class every single day, every class, every single day, as opposed to every other day, like some of the schedules you're looking at. So that's important to mention. Literacy and math have a double block. Science and social studies is a double block, but they alternate several weeks at a time. All other classes are one period. I keep hearing about a student-centered day. I want to know, will this make an academic difference, and how do we know that? But you've given us no data. I attended at the parent focus group, we were told that would be presented on the planning session, but nothing was presented there. My guess is it's because all of these districts just implemented a block schedule like last year. So there is no data. If you look at the Illinois school report card, our performance is about the same as them. And the report card hasn't even caught up with these changes. So I keep wanting to know, why are we doing this? Where's the data to show it's different? And I know Mrs. De La Rosa, you asked about that as well on October 11th, to show you have comments regarding our standards, maintaining the level of education, the pass rates, AP goals of the district, but we've seen none of that data. On Saturday, you also asked for a lead time to make the change. How will we measure the efficacy of the change, which I think are all good questions, but none of that has been answered. Some of the things you talk about are positives, like less passing periods, less time wasting time in the hall, but then you, in the same breath, you say, well, students will need brain breaks in class. So we talk out of both sides of our mouth with some of the positives, also have negatives. Also, it seems like we're trying to solve a problem with simpler solutions. Teacher PLC time on a Monday is a holiday for a lot of weeks. Why don't you move the teacher PLC day to Wednesday? I heard board members bring up concerns with busing, yet you haven't even had the conversations. So you're going to make a recommendation tonight with no idea the cost impact on busing to the 87 and the feeder districts, or if it's even feasible. We do have a bus driver shortage. And you keep conveniently leaving out the fact that a late start time is not dependent on a block schedule. I guess I just want to wrap this up and say that I'm not afraid of change, but I do not want change just for the sake of it. When this is our first normal year for our kids since 2018, you presented no data why it's so compelling you move forward with this now. In the real world, this is not how you would approach a project. You don't throw out an idea with no data and see if you can work out all of the issues. I wouldn't have confidence in my employees if that was their plan. I would want a plan that has been vetted and the issues resolved before you tell me you want to implement it. Thank you.
Christy Ball. Hello, I have 3 teenagers in this district. And I'm asking this board to remove sexually explicit pornographic books from our libraries and our digital libraries. This is not about sexual orientation. Any book which is pornographic in nature does not belong in our libraries. Many of us have computer blocking software at home that the contents of these books would never make it through. And yet our students can just go to the library. Help us parents as we try to protect our kids. In Glenbard South Handbook, under behavior at a dance, it states, inappropriate or sexually explicit dancing is prohibited. Students will be removed from the event and guardians contacted. My question is, why not just let them act out what you let them read? There are more rules around a dance than there are for what appears in our libraries. Would you be comfortable posting these images in our high schools on the district webpage at a board meeting? If these images had been drawn by a student for a class project, would they be appropriate? Where will this board draw the line? Or will there be no line? We are the adults in this room, and we need to do something about this. Pastor Christie.
Hi, good evening. This is Kasser Tishti. My kids go to Glenbard West. Yeah, so I came to know about this issue. Some community member, they emailed that there are certain books in the library which have some objectionable content, sexually explicit, and maybe not appropriate for this age group, regardless of the beliefs or religion, whatever we believe in. I think this content was not appropriate, and after knowing that, I just wanted to come and share my feelings that we strongly recommend that these books and any other books should be reviewed and approved, whatever is in the library, and these should be removed from the library. And also the kids, whatever technology they have, iPad, because this is also available on their iPad as a downloadable thing. We don't know what else is available to them. I think you also should do some analysis of what kind of apps or websites they have access to, and can they download any kind of data, or there's some parental controls or age related or content related controls that they have been given access to many, who knows, certain apps, social media things. What can they do or what cannot they do on it? What kind of content or comments they can post? Like sometimes it may not be nudity or pornography, it may be some hate related, or like maybe students should also be educated about those issues, like what they can do, what they cannot do. And maybe from a technology perspective, somebody should do an audit and put some limits, what is appropriate to maintain the values of these kids. And I think as a Muslim, like we, I think, shared some of the same values as one other lady as a Christian was saying. Because many times we hear from the media what we are, what we are not, but I think when we connect with each other, there are many commonalities. So I would say I was glad to hear that even our neighbors, our Christian neighbors have the same values, and they don't want these kind of things in the school, and they want to have ethics and values being installed in the kids. So I would highly recommend that please review all these things and get this resolved as soon as possible, please. Thank you.
Jawad Justine.
Hi, my name is Jawad Chishti. I came here for the same reason about the books that I found out today. I came here with peace, so I want to understand how this happened and how we can remedy out of this situation. I don't come here with any type of negative thoughts or any hate. So just to be clear about that. So the resolution is to find a peaceful resolution of this, not to get into emotional issues and fights. So the fabric of the society is always built on values, and there is a common consciousness that is always there. And common consciousness can never go in a negative way. If you look at the common consciousness, whether it's a society values we are talking, or whether we're talking about a single person, the person will know when they're doing wrong. Whether you're sitting in the darkest of the room, you will find out when you're doing something wrong. Looking at these books and pictures, we know that this is going in a wrong direction. And even if we pick it up, even if somebody loves to watch porn, they might do it in their own time, in the darkest of the moment, or in their silos, alone or with some friends. But usually they will not do it in front of everybody. Nobody will do that, right? As a society, until a society goes really bad. And that's a different problem, which is not here. So if you look at those values does not allow any type of porn in the society to exist like that and available to the students. When I look at the rules of the society, if I talk about the school, even if the kid sends something which is questionable, it is caught by the system. People have sent, I know one of the kids who sent a rhyme which says wussy, and they immediately say it rhymes with pussy, so you are not allowed technology right away. So when we are sitting in the same district and a small word is not allowed that may mean something wrong, then we are talking about porn which is available. Think about it, person bring the porn on their laptop and share it on the iPads, on the school iPad. Will you allow that, or will you put that person in trouble? Definitely that person will get into trouble just for that porn or a joke or a word. So how can we allow something to be available in the library, accessible to everyone? So we have to look into that, that these type of things, which if I am alone in a house, I cannot be naked if I can be seen from outside. I can get tickets for that. People have gotten tickets for that. If people are walking out, they can see somebody naked. So think about the values. There are laws, not just there's a moral values. There are laws which are against pornographic images available for the kids. And there are laws and rules in the society and in the school that limits it. So if we are allowing that in the school, then we should open up everything in the school, and then kids can get no trouble for whatever else they're doing. They must get into trouble, and they should not be allowed this thing. So that's what my point is. Thank you.
Ravel Kaser.
Hello, my name is Rabi Alkaiser. I have a daughter who goes to Glenbard West. Another one will be joining her next year from Happy. I came across the contents of the book today as well, and I was shocked. I went numb when I saw the images, and I felt betrayed too, because I had such faith in our high school and our board, and I felt like since our town is more conservative leaning, that they would make sure that the values that are exposed to the students in school are also similar. And so I was really, really distraught when I saw what was available to them. This is not something that we want our kids to have access to. And something that, like this kind of material that they have access to in the library at their school, it gives them sort of a sense that this is being condoned by school. This is something that is allowed and they should explore on it. So it's very nerve-wracking that these books are available for them to check out. And it makes me wonder what kind of checks and balances are at school. Like a kid goes and they distribute these materials on social media to each other. Are they reprimanded for that? Or is it like everything is open and nobody, if it's, and I honestly don't even think it is anything to do with orientation. It's the kind of filth that is in the books that's really not something we should be exposing kids to at the age that they are in. Like all the websites which deal with this kind of information or videos or images, they have age restriction. They come with a disclaimer that it is not for kids under 18. So when a kid at 15-year-old or a 14-year-old, they go to the library and they give this book to the librarian for checking out, does the librarian say, no, this is not for your age? Is there any check and balance? So I think it's just, I'm in disbelief that this is available for our kids in the library. And I just hope that you guys make the right decision and take them off. This is not for kids. This should not be available to the kids. Thank you.
Susie Warden.
My name is Dr. Susie Warden, and I've had kids here since probably 30 years ago. So I've been around for a while. And I think most of us have moved to Glen Ellen for our schools and to teach our children math, English, and give them a recipe for success. This is no business of any school. These pictures, the books, what have we come to? Have you gone to strip clubs in school? Did your parents bring you to strip clubs? Did your parents bring you to things like this that you could look at these? In my day, no. You know, my mom would talk to me about this. This is not teachers' responsibilities. People moved to Glen Ellen for the grades. And as of about 2010, when we started our core learning, the grades have gone down and down and down. And right now, less than 50% of our kids coming out of this school, less than that, 43 in English and 44 in math, are at grade level. And we're worried about sex, teaching our kids about pornography, putting them in groups according to DEI, putting them in the white kids in different groups and the black kids. What happened? Where are we? We need to be together. We don't need to be teaching this. We need to teach our kids success. We need to pull our kids up together, not separately, not teaching them this. Let's teach them math. Let's teach them success. Let's teach them positivity, and let's rock it together. I do not believe that these need to be in the school. We need to spend more money, not on diversity and equity and inclusion. That's all should be included in our curriculum as it was 20 years ago. We never put them in groups. Let's pull them together. I think that's why all of us have come together today, because we believe we need to be together. We're stronger together without this. And I think you all agree. I don't think this was a part of our education when we grew up. Let's get this out of the school. Let's concentrate on putting money into the grading systems of our school so that our grades go up, so that when we're paying the highest taxes in the country, we have something to look at for our children to get into college and to be successful. Thank you.
If I can just,
Oh, wait a minute, just a second.
go ahead.
All right, we see no more for public participation. We're gonna close public participation. Okay.
For agenda related.
Agenda
It's not
Right.
agenda related.
A quick comment for information, like to thank each citizen that came tonight who spoke. We appreciate partnering with our community. And this is a concern, again, the board's role here is governance. It sets policy. There are systems, processes, and procedures to vet complaints, various kinds. Just want to highlight, there's in our policy manual, you can see it on the website, 6:230E1, request for reconsideration of library